Started. Yes. Right. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. Let me start with a new concept. Please listen carefully. Very interesting. You know how to create class, method, variable, object. Yes, right. Now, what is a constructor? Let me write the definition first of all for this. What is a constructor? It is also a method. Please remember. What is a method? Method will do some task. We have done that in the beginning. So methods and variables are present in a class. Right from the beginning, I am telling a class consists of variables and methods. Right. Constructor is also a method. Please remember. So you know what is present inside a class? Only two things, variables and methods. Now I am saying that constructor is also a method, a special method. Just like VAP. In human beings also some very important persons will be there, na? Something like that. So a constructor is also a method. A constructor is a special method. Is a special method that can be invoked. I'll explain this, don't worry. That can be invoked. Invoked means what? Called. That can be called by creating an object. By creating an object. This definition you cannot understand right now. I will explain through program, then you can understand. But before that, you should know the rules and regulations in designing a constructor. Some rules and regulations are there. Let me talk about those things. Rules and regulations to design a constructor. Possible take pics of this notepad, okay, at regular intervals, because this is the first notes which I am giving. This is very much useful to you. Just like FIR, first information record, just like that, this is very useful for you. Then whichever notes I am sending you, you please study that. Right. Rules and regulations to design a constructor. There are some general rules and regulations in designing a constructor. How to design a constructor? I am telling from the beginning that a constructor is like a method. It's a special method I am telling. How do you design method? By writing some name to a method. If class name is animal, method name can be bark or bite or jump, something like that. But constructor name should be same as that of the class name. Rule number one, constructor name constructor name should be same as that of a class name. For example, if the class name is animal, constructor name should be also animal. That's it. Right. Constructor name should be same as that of a class name. You want example? I can give you here. Like see here, class name for example is demo. Demo is my class name. So that constructor name will be also demo, like this. Sorry, it should be in capital letter na? Because class I have written in capital letter. So constructor also should be in capital letter, should start with capital letter. Right. Inside that you can write some code. Right. This is how you design a constructor. So constructor name should be same as that of a class name. Anybody join? Yeah, few more joinings are there. Yes, fine. Right. Okay. So its name should be same as that of the class name. People are waiting in the lobby. Return to the main meeting window to see who is waiting. It is saying something. Okay, no problem. We have checked. Somebody is waiting there. Okay, fine. Waiting in the lobby. At meeting. Okay, fine. Right. Oh, again, it is coming repeatedly. Who is waiting there? Let me check. Okay, fine. Nothing else is required. Right. So you can see here, class name is demo. This is called as constructor. I'm making a comment. You can understand. It is called as a default constructor. What is a default constructor? I will answer. Wait. This is the default constructor. This is the example for a constructor. Point number one is that. And a constructor, this is first point, constructor name should be same as that of a class name. Point number one. And then point number two, constructor should be always made public. An access specifier by mean public should be given. Always constructors, you have to make them as public. Constructors should be always public. Public is the keyword which we use. That's why we can write public. Even if you don't write anything, yeah, it is by default public. Don't worry. You can give public like this. Okay. But in Java, even if you don't give anything, no problem. It is by default public only. Okay, right. Within the same package context. Okay, fine. So constructor should be always public. Public is the keyword which we are required to use. Later on during access specifiers, you can understand this. Just a minute. Okay, fine. Constructor should be always public. Point number three. Public is the access specifier which you are going to use. Later on, I will discuss about access specifiers. Don't worry. But till then, please make to use public colon. That is required for a constructor. Point number three. Another important point. Constructors will not return any type. Constructors should not have any return type. Constructors should not have any return type. What is this return type? I will explain. Wait. Even void is not allowed. I will put in bracket. Even void is not allowed. What is the meaning of this? Constructor should not have any return type. Even void is not allowed. Or ETU or return type. Even void is not allowed. Means what? Generally, how do you write method? You write method like this, na? Void show. In that way you write method. But how do you write a constructor? Point number one, its name should be the same as that of class name. If it is demo, you should write like this. And then and it should not have any return type. Just 1 second, I will be coming back. Sorry for that. Right. So here, see here, the difference between method and constructor. See, this is normal method. That is after all a method. It has some return type. Even int is also allowed at times depending upon program. Even if you don't want to write any return type, at least void is required, mandatory. But for constructor, see, constructor should not have any return type. This is wrong. See, if I write like this is wrong. This is wrong. Then can I write like this? This is also wrong. Why wrong? Why these two ways of declaration wrong? Because study this point, third point, constructor should not have any return type. Even void is not allowed. Even void is not allowed. That's it. Constructor should not have any return type. Here return type is there by name int, and in the next case void is there, it is also not allowed. So how should be a constructor? How to write a correct constructor correctly? Demo. That's it. That's it. This is correct. This is absolutely correct. That's it. Now you got the third point. So a method you can write like this. Method you can write like this, fine. But you cannot give any return type like this. Even void is not allowed like this. Please remember, very small points, how simple it is. See, so what is the correct way of representing a constructor? Just write the class name and put parenthesis. That's all. That is a constructor, right? So first point is constructor name should be same as that of a class name. Second point is constructor should be always public. Okay, fine. Third point is constructor should not have any return type. Even void is not allowed. Yes, you got it. Now fourth point, another important point, that is we cannot call a constructor just like a normal method just by creating an object. I will write that point. Just by creating an object, constructor will be called. Constructor will be invoked, means called. Invoked means called only. Invoked is the correct word which we have to use. Just by creating an object, constructor will be invoked. What do you mean by that? Let us see this. Invoke. Somebody join again and again. Couple of guests are there. Fine. Right. So just by creating an object, constructor will be invoked. What is the meaning of that? How to invoke a method? Tell me. How to call a method? I'll tell you how to call a method. How to call a method? If the method name is, say, let us say display, it is present in a class called as demo. For example, let us suppose demo is the class name, and see, class name is demo. So inside that a method is there called as void display. This is the method. Okay, fine, great. Some code is there in that, don't worry about that. So how to call that? So in your public static void main, you write public static void main and something you write in brackets. I'm not writing the entire code here, just explaining this. So inside that, what you are doing, create object for the class. How do you create? Demo d is equal to new. New means memory space is allocated for that object. So this is the way to create object. This is the object. I can tell you this right from here. This is the object. Okay, and that is referred by d. And now how to call that method? D dot display. That is the normal way of calling a method, a non-static method. But if you are having a constructor, how do you write a constructor? See, I'm writing a constructor this time. Demo. That's it. And some code is there in that. Don't worry about the code. Some code is there in that. How do you call a constructor? I'm putting comments here, you can understand. This is a method, instance method. Instance means non-static. The other word is non-static. Please remember, please be good with terminology. Terminology, technicalities, communication skills. These three are important for your success in interviews, even for your semester exam also. Instance method means non-static method. Non-static method. And what about this? You know, just now I'm discussing this only, that is constructor. This is a constructor, a default constructor. You can call it as default constructor. You can call it as constructor without arguments can be called as default constructor. There are no arguments here. That's why it is called as default constructor, right? Two things are there. One is a method, the other one is a constructor. How to call a constructor and how to call a constructor and how to call a method. See, this is the way to call a method. A method is called, instance method is called, instance method is called. Fine. But how to call a constructor, sir? Yes, you can call a constructor just by creating an object. Already you created object. Here only constructor is called. Extra step is not required. Constructor is called. Called means invoked. The correct word is invoked. Observe carefully all these points. Invoked means called. That is the correct meaning of that. Here also, how to call a method? First create object, then call with the help of that object. D dot display. That is the way to call a method. That is the difference. Got it? That is the difference. See the difference, very clear. How to call a constructor? See, I'm writing here also, just by creating an object. What is that? What is the meaning of this? See here, just by creating an object, constructor will be invoked, called. Just by what? Very simple, one line. VIP na constructor is just like a special method na. Special means always, Tirupati darshan. Special darshan is there, normal darshan is there. Normal darshan means 2 steps are required. Like this, for a method is normal, but for a constructor special darshan, only 1 step. Only 1 step. Got it? That is the advantage with a constructor. Got? That is the definition which I have given. Now let us come back to definition. A constructor is a special method that can be, yes, please study. A constructor is a special method that can be invoked, means called, by creating an object. Need not call again with the help of object. Object dot, that business should not be there. But for method, object dot, that business is there. This is calling a method. See, I will put one, I'll highlight this, you can understand. This is the way to call a method. What are the steps involved in calling a method? Calling a non-static method especially. First create object, then call the method with the help of object by using dot operator. D dot display. First create object, then call the method. But for constructor, not 2 steps, only 1 step. What is that? Just to create an object, automatically control will transfer to constructor and that code will be executed. Simple, na? So these are the basic points. Any doubts till now? Please ask me. I'll give 1 minute, couple of minutes time. If you are having any doubts, please ask me. Good attendance is there today, I guess. Yes, please ask me if you are having any doubts till now, whatever I have spoken. What is a constructor? What is the difference between a constructor and a method? Yes, if any doubts, please ask me. Can I move to the next topic? I mean, types of constructors. There are 2 types of constructors. Let me put the heading here. Types of constructors. Yes, there are 2 types of constructors, right? 2 types. One is default constructor. Default constructor. Second one is parameterized constructor. Same rules for parameterizer also, but only one difference, some arguments will be there. Constructor. What is a parameterized constructor? Constructor with arguments is known as parameterized constructor. Constructor with arguments. What are arguments? You pass something inside, na? I'll tell you with one example, you can understand. Constructor with arguments. Known as a parameterized constructor. What is a default constructor? Constructor without arguments. Constructor without arguments. All these points will be there in your notes also, but better you take pics whenever at regular intervals so that you can have first copy of notes, which is very easy, class notes. Then just like you can scribble also, of course. Then second notes will be sent by me, which is much established and organized. with interview questions and all these things, right? Now, how a parameterized constructor looks like, I will give example here itself. Let me go with one example in the brackets like this. See, if the class name is demo, constructor will be something like this: int x comma int y, like this. Sorry, int y, like this. This is a parameterized constructor. Got it? This is a parameterized constructor. How a normal constructor looks like, already I told, a default constructor. It looks like just that's it. No arguments. You can see the difference between that example and this example. You can find some difference. What is the difference? There are no arguments at one time and there are some arguments at the other time. Yes, these are the arguments you can see here, int x and int y, but here no arguments are there. That is a difference. Got it? Now this is the right time we can go with a program. Before that, what is the use of a default constructor? One important interview question. What is the use? What is the use of a default constructor? What is the use of a default constructor? So what is the use? Default constructors are generally used for variable initializations. Please remember, default constructors. I'll talk this with, I will explain this through an example you can understand. Default constructors are used to initialize variables. Initialize, right. Let us write one small program. You can understand all these things, right? Let us create a class demo. Fine, great. Now I want to go with a constructor. How do you go with a constructor? By default it should be public. Yes, you have to write public. Otherwise, of course, even if you don't write public also, by default it will be public. Don't worry about that. Now, how to design a default constructor? Now my job is to create a default constructor. Default constructor. How do you go with that? See, name of the constructor should be same as that of class name. That's it. Done. Inside that, what is the general purpose of a default constructor? Just now I told you what is the use of a default constructor. Default constructors are used to initialize variables. So let me initialize one variable. Before initializing, we should declare, na? Yeah, we have to declare. Let me declare those variables. Here I can declare int x. Right. Even this public is not required. Without public also it will come, because by default it will be public. You need not give it. Right. Now see what I am doing. X is equal to 4. That's it. X is equal to 4. And I want to go with one more variable by name y. And y is equal to 5. Don't forget putting semicolons. Every statement should end with a semicolon. Right. Default constructor is created. Right. What is the basic purpose of default constructor? Just now I told you. Default constructors are used for variable initializations. That is what is done. Yes. Now let me go with a parameterized constructor. How to write a parameterized constructor? See, int x comma int y. Right. Otherwise I will write int a comma int b. Anything you can take, no issue. Right. Now what to do? Let us do sum of these two. System dot is equal to sum is equal to concatenation operator How do you add two numbers? A plus B. That's it. Done. A plus B. Done. This is what is done. I will tell you, I will explain you. Wait for a while. So this is what is a parameterized constructor. This is parameterized constructor with arguments. Parameterized also created. Right. Now let us write main method. How to write? Public static void main within bracket string args. Right. Done. What is the first step we have to do? Always make it a habit to create an object inside main method. So how to create an object for demo class? Demo space d is equal to new demo. That's it. An object is created. So an object is created. How to call constructor? Yeah, constructor is called. I told you now. Constructor is called. Default constructor is called. In fact, default constructor is invoked. Otherwise, invoked. Done. Now, how to call? And I want to go with a method also in this program. Let me go with one method. Void show. Show is the method. Void show. Inside show, I would like to system dot out dot println. I want to find difference. Difference is equal to within bracket x minus y. X minus y. That is a difference which I want to do as well. Right. This is a method, instance method. I'm showing all the types of methods. One is instance method, one is constructor, I mean default. The other one is parameterized constructor. This is instance method. One with all combinations. Now, how to call that method? How to call the method? Object dot, what is the method name? Show. That's it. Method is called. So method instance method is called here. Instance method is invoked. Invoked is the correct word. Now how to call the parameterized constructor? So again you have to create object just like default constructor. Demo already D is created. Let us go with a D1 this time. D1 is equal to new demo, but you have to pass some arguments. Let us pass some arguments, say 9 and let me pass 5. Yes, 9 and 5 are the arguments being passed, or 9 and 6, or 9 and let us say 1. 9 and 1 are the arguments being passed. That is the way. Here what is done? Please try to understand. Parameterized constructor is called. Parameterized constructor is invoked. Parameterized constructor is invoked. And what are the arguments? 9 comma 1 are the arguments. What is the difference between arguments and parameters? You might have covered this in your C language also. Very important entry question. Maybe in C or C++ or Java or even Python also. So what is the difference between parameter and argument? Sometime I am saying argument, sometime I am calling them as parameters. So this is your call now. Whenever you are calling a method, if you pass something in the parenthesis, they are known as arguments. Here this is calling area. So 9 and 1 are the arguments. But here A and B are the parameters. Please remember, in the definition part, they are called as parameters. A comma B are params, means parameters. That is the difference. Difference is there between parameters and arguments. While calling, you pass arguments. In definition, you call them as parameters. That is the difference. This is function definition, method definition. The method definition this is. So in method definition, we give parameters. And when you call, when you invoke We pass arguments. That is a technical difference. Right. Done. Program is done. Close the main method and close the class and save the program. What is the program name? Demo. Demo is the program. Otherwise, I will write it as demo 1. Let me write as demo 1. So that let us not confuse. Already demo is given. Let it be placed as demo only. So inside constructors dot Java. Right. Let us run this program. Java C is the name of the compiler that will run your program. File not found. It is not there in constructors. We saved somewhere else. Let me save it properly again. No, here I should not save this. I should save this in which area? Programs. There are programs. I have not saved this. In programs folder I have to save. Yeah, here in programs I have to save, that too in constructors. Here I have to save demo.java. Perfect. Now it is saved. We should save correctly in the correct place. Oh, semicolons I missed. I missed semicolons. So because I am teaching Python also at times. That's, yeah. Where we have to put semicolon. Where else I missed? Done. Right. Again save the program and again let us clear the screen. Now I will compile again. See. Oh, again a semicolon. Difference also I missed it. Where that difference? Yeah, here I missed semicolon. Right. Small things costs a lot. Again I will compile the program. See, no other problems are there. Perfectly compiled. How to execute your program? Who will execute? JVM. JVM means Java space demo. Every word whatever I am telling, please try to catch that. Please go through the recordings. One time hearing, second time hearing, it makes you stronger. It creates interest. Yeah, perfectly executed. You got difference -1, sum 10. Perfect answer. Difference is, what is the difference you got? -1 is the difference, sum is 10. Sum is 10. Is it really? A plus B. What is A passed? A is passed as 9 and B is passed as 1. 9 plus 1 is 10 and 4 minus 5 minus 1. Right. So how the program is executed? Let us start from main method. Let us start again reading this program, studying this program. Program execution starts from the opening brace of the main method. Here is your main method. Who will start execution? JVM. What is the first step written in your program? JVM will look this statement. What is the meaning of that? And this comment is ignored. Comments are not taken into consideration by your compiler, by your virtual machine, JVM, right? So first statement is an object is created. So whenever an object is created, JVM try to find constructor. Is there any constructor in the program? Yes, there is a default constructor. This code is called, that code is invoked. See the comment, default constructor is invoked. So what is done internally? X is assigned with 4 and Y is assigned with 5. Perfect. Then what is happening? D.show control transfers to show method. What is there in show? System.out.print means system.out means an object representing your monitor. On the monitor you are going to print. What you are going to print? Difference is equal to x minus y. What is x? 4. What is y? 5. 4 minus 5 is -1. You got -1, right? You can see difference is equal to -1. First output. Yes. Then control transfers to next line. What is the next line? Parameterized constructor is called. And what are the arguments passed? 9 and 1. 9 is passed into A. This A will take 9. And what is the other argument? 1 is passed into B. So that system.out.print. On the screen you are printing sum is equal to, what is A? 9. What is B? 1. 9 plus 1 is 10. Brackets are mandatory because whenever you are joining a string you have to put brackets, otherwise it will join. Sum is equal to, it won't do fine, it don't do sum. If you don't put brackets like this, it won't do addition. This plus is there na, that plus is considered as a joining operator, concatenation operator. That's why you have to put brackets. If you put brackets, the meaning says that, especially inside system.out.print, you have to do like that. If you don't put brackets, it will join A and B. If you join A and B, what will happen? 9, 1. 91 is the answer. But if you add 9 and 1, 91 is not the answer. 10 is the answer. If you want to get 10, 9 should be added with 1. Right? That is the thing. So any doubts in this program, please ask me. If any doubts in this program, please ask me. Any doubts, please ask me in this program. Yes, please. 413, 421, 451, 459, 466. If any doubts, please ask me. Yes, please. 467 also is there. Yeah. Yes. Understood how to design a constructor? Did you understand or not? Speak out. Any problem in this program? So I have gone with two types of constructors. One is default constructor, the other one is parameterized, and also one instance method I have gone with. And program execution starts from the opening brace of main method. An object is created for the class. An object is created. Means what will happen? Default constructor is called. Control transfers to constructor. That code is run. Then you are calling d.show. D.show means control transfers to show method. Whatever code is there in that, that will be executed. What is the code inside that? Difference is equal to x minus y. That is 4 minus 1. That is minus 1. Then one more time another constructor is called. That is parameterizer constructor is called. And what are the arguments passed? 9 and 1. 9 is pushed into A and 1 is pushed into B. And 9 plus 1 will give you 10. That's it. Got it? So that is about constructor. Even till now, whichever program I have done, every program consists of one constructor that is known as default constructor, invisible, that is. Okay, I will mention that point also. Wait. Till now, whichever program we have done, all the programs consists of one default constructor. Please note this point. This is also important point. Every program, in every Java program, there will be one default constructor presence. Okay. It will be called by creating an object. It will be invoked by creating an object. That is important point which you should understand. Even if you don't write default constructor also, by default one constructor will be there in that program, and that will be called just by, because in every program you are creating object, means a constructor will be called. What is that constructor? Default constructor. Okay, please remember that point also. So this is your notes for constructors, and this is the application. Now you understood what is default constructor, what is parameterized constructor, what is an instance method, how to call all these things, right? And what is the use of a default constructor, and what are the rules and regulations to design a constructor, whether it is a parameterized constructor or non-parameterized. Non-parameterized means default. Its name should be same as that of the class name, and by default they are public, and we cannot invoke them separately like a non-static method. Just by creating an object they will be called. And then constructor should not have any return type. Even void is not allowed. This is all the information about constructors. Now the next program is about constructor overloading. I will write a program on constructor overloading. What is constructor overloading? What is meant by constructor overloading? Definition wise, this is the thing. Same constructor executing different tasks is known as constructors with the same name. I can write like this. I will explain this through a program you can understand. Constructors with the same name but with different signature. What is that signature? I will explain, don't worry. It's an interview question actually. Constructors with same name but with different signatures, and different implementations is known as constructor overloading. What is the meaning of this? Before going into the meaning, let me write a program, then we will come with that definition. You can understand that pretty well. Yes. Now create a new program. Let me go with a class name as demo1 is my constructor. Right. Demo1 is my class name. Okay, right. Now in demo1 I want to go with the default constructor. Before that I want to create a variable int x. Right. Now I want to go with the default constructor. This constructor with no arguments. Please again see how I am creating constructor and all these things. I want to go with the default constructor. See what I am doing. How do you write a default constructor? Its name should be same as that of the class name. What is the class name? Demo1. Yes. Not have any return type. Even void is not allowed before that. Right. Now, what is the main purpose of default constructor? Variable initialization. Let us initialize x with 4. That's it. Done. Now let me display that. I can display that. Here also you can display system.out.println is equal to x. That's it. Right. So default constructor is done. Now I want to go with parameterized constructor. So many parameterized constructors. Constructors. Not one. So many I am going with. Constructors. Right. Right. So how do you create parameterized constructors? Demo1, same name that of class name, but you can pass some arguments now, like this int x, comma, int y. Right. Parameterized constructor. This is inside that. Let me write system.out.println. Let me find sum. You can do any operation. I am doing simple sum only. And how to do sum? Put brackets. Without brackets it won't do sum, it won't do add, it will just join those two numbers. That is not correct, nah? So we have to give x plus y like this. Now I want to go with one more parameterized constructor, demo1. See how many parameterized constructors I am going with. Int x. This time I want to go with float, right? Float x, comma, float y. Yes, like that. Same statement, but difference I want to find. I want to find the difference for these things. In place of sum, I will go with here in place of plus I will go with minus. Yes, no worry. Now I want to go with another constructor. See what I'm doing. Int x and float y. Float y. Perfect. Now let me display. Let me display here. X value and y value. I just want to display. X is equal to concatenation x and again concatenation. Y is equal to again concatenation y. Just I am displaying x and y. That's all. Right, done. It is also done. Now let me take another constructor. See how many constructors I am taking in the same program. I will go with first float x and into y. Here also same job I want to do. That is, I want to display them. Just I want to display, nothing more than that. The constructors I have designed. Okay, now my job is main method. How to write main method? Public static void main in args. Right, what is the first job? Create object to call the constructor. Demo1 space d1 is equal to new demo1. Default constructor is called, right? I will put a comment, you can understand. Default, there is no method in this program. All are constructors, fully dumped with constructors, fully loaded with constructors. Default constructor is invoked. Invoked means called, right? Now let us create another object. Demo1 d2 is equal to new demo2, but let me pass couple of arguments. One is 6 and the other one is 7, right? So here parameterized constructors are called from here onwards. From here onwards all are parameterized constructors. Parameterized constructors, right? So next step is going to be demo1 space d3 is equal to new demo2, and let me pass one integer value and another decimal value. While passing decimal value, you have to put f because you are dealing with float. Now float means f you have to write. Please remember that point. I told you float means for decimal values. For float you have to put f, but for double you need not put anything. Directly you can go with the decimal value. That is the difference. Now let me create another, let me call another parameterized constructor with the reference d4 is equal to new. Oh, demo2 is not there. Demo1 all the time. Sorry, it is demo1, right? Class name is demo1. Yeah, demo1. And here let me pass first decimal value. I want to pass 5.55f, and the other argument is, let us suppose 3, right? So how many constructors are there in this program? See, one is default constructor that is called here. One is default constructor, it is called. And how many other constructors are there? Parameterized, how many are there? One. Both floats are also there. Yes, I have to make one more call. I have to make one more call. Demo1 d2. d2 is already done. d3, I will change the names. d4, this one. Same name should not be repeated, right? Yes, you should be careful there. Is equal to new demo. You can create anywhere. You can call parameterized constructors in any order. Order is not important, but I am maintaining same order. You can try with different orders also. You'll get same output. 5.55f, comma. First, whichever you call, that will be displayed. That is the difference. 1.49f. So how many parameterized constructors are there? Please try to find out. Please find the count parameterized constructor. Here is one, here is one, and then here is second one, and then third one, and then fourth one. Four parameterized constructors. How many objects I have created for parameterized calling? 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Fantastic. Four parameterized constructors are called, and one default constructor is also called. Let us close main method, and let us close the class also, and let us save the program with the name. What is the name? demo1.java. Right. Let us compile this. I will explain this program, don't worry. Demo1 is the name of this. Whoa, what is that? Print stream, somewhere I went wrong. Where is that? Let me check that. It is saying something else. What is that? Oh, comma. I kept comma here. See how many mistakes we are getting. We should be careful when typing, right? So where I kept comma, please check that. I kept somewhere comma, system.out.print concatenation here, because in Python we put comma. Here also I kept comma somewhere. Somewhere I kept comma. Where is that? Yeah, here. No, not here, not here. Here it is. Yes, that is the only mistake. See, that is the way to find out mistakes. Now let us run this again. Successfully compiled. Now let us run this Java space demo1. Perfectly executed. See the output. Yes, but here some space should be required in between x and y, and here also in between x and y some space is required. I will give that code. I will give that in coding, don't worry. See how to give that. Tab space, escape sequences you can use. First x is equal to x. First displayed is x is equal to is displayed, then x value is displayed. After that you have to provide some space. For that you can give a tab space. This is called as escape character, escape sequence. You can provide like this. Here also x is equal to x value will be displayed, then again concatenate that with some tab space. You can provide like this. Now you will get much more clear output. You can expect, right? That is the thing. Again I will run. See the difference in output. Compiled. Yes, this looks good. This looks pretty good. X is 4, sum is 13, difference is so and so, and xy are displayed. First integer, next float, first float, then integer. Perfectly executed. So how to understand this program? See this. So program execution starts from the opening brace of main method. An object is created for demo class, demo1 d1. So default constructor will be called. So many constructors are there. How can control transfer to only default constructor? Because constructor with no arguments. Here I am not passing any value, any arguments. You can see there is no argument passed. So its match is found. Its match. It will search for its match. It is found here. So control transfers to this point. Means number of arguments it will check. So that is known as method signature. Important interview question. What is a method signature? Method signature can be verified. Of course, constructor signature or method signature, whatever you call. Method signature means method name. It can differ with respect to number of arguments. Yes, number of arguments. Args means arguments, right? Otherwise, now again come back to the program. So number of arguments are 0. So number of arguments are 0 means which is the match for this. See, I am not passing any arguments. Here I am not passing any arguments. So what is the perfect match for this constructor? This is a perfect match for this, right? So no argument is passed. So what is done inside? X is assigned with 4 and you are displaying x value. X is equal to 4. You got x is equal to 4 in the output. Please check. Yeah, perfectly executed. X is equal to 4. Then what is happening? See, let us come back to main method. What is the next step? Yes, another object is created. Demo1 d2 is equal to new demo1. So what are the arguments passed? 6 and 7. Two arguments are there. But here also two arguments are there by name x and y. And here also two arguments are there, x and y. And here also two arguments are there by mean x and y. And here also two arguments are there by mean x and y. How the matching is possible? Then comes into picture, what are the arguments passed? 6 and 7. Both are integers. Both are integers means this is a perfect match for this. This is going to be a perfect match for that. Both are integers, na? Means type of arguments is also considered. Got that point? Type of arguments. Second rule is type. Type means data type. Type means data type only. Type of args. See how it is, how you are finding your friend. There are so many friends of you. How you are able to notice one with the other one. Somebody may be tall, somebody may be short, somebody may be thick. I mean, somebody may be thin, somebody may be fat. Like that, you can easily notice one with the other one. Somebody's hairstyle is different, right? Somebody's features are different with another person's. You can easily notice. Like that, your program is also very intelligent. Next time, what you are doing, see here. Here also two arguments are there and both are decimals. Both are decimals means this is a perfect match for that, right? This is a perfect match. What is done internally? Difference. Before that, both are integers, sum and difference you got, right? You got sum and you got difference also. Then, so float, this float constructor is called demo1, float x, float y. Both are decimal values. That is called. Next time what is done? See, one integer, one float, one integer, one float. So what is the perfect match? Here also one integer, one float is there. Here also one integer, one float is there. Which is a match for that among these two? First integer, then decimal. So here also see, first integer is passed, then decimal is passed, right? First integer is passed, then decimal is passed. So this is going to be a perfect match for that. That is going to be a perfect match for that. So this constructor is called, and x and y values are displayed in that. You can see that first integer, then decimal, and then only one more call is left. Last call. This is the one. Decimal, then integer. So this is the perfect match for that. First decimal, then integer. Got it? Yes, all the constructors are called. So last thing, how the criteria is, number of arguments are 2 and type is 1 int, 1 float. But how it is resolved? Sequence is different. Sequence of arguments, first integer, then decimal, first decimal, then integer. Based on that, those calls are made. Means sequence of arguments. So third point is sequence of arguments. Very important interview question, this one. Sequence of args. That is how. This is known as method signature. Methods with the same name. See, all methods are having same names or not. See, names of methods are same. What is the name of the method in this program? Method means constructor. Demo1, demo1, demo1. Always demo1. See, here it is demo1. Yes. Here it is demo1. Here also it is demo1. And here also it is demo1. And here also it is demo1. Means name of the constructor is same. But what is different? Signature. Signature is different. One time the signature is no arguments. Number of arguments. With respect to number of arguments, 0 here. Here 2 arguments. Number of arguments. Based on number of arguments, they are varying. And based on type of arguments also they are varying. Here it is float both the times. Here it is int both the occasions. And by sequence of arguments, one time int, the other time float. And the other time, one time float and the other time is int. First float, next int. Here first int, next float. So based on sequence also they are differing. Type of arguments, sequence of arguments, number of arguments. So methods with the same name. So what is meant by method signature? Methods with same name, constructor or method, whatever it is, method or constructor signature. Because in method also you can do with this program. Tomorrow we will do that also. Method signature with respect to method signature. Method or constructor signature. Generally, we call it as method signature. Constructor signature word we never use. Method or constructor. Or methods you can call. Methods with same names or constructors with the same name, but with differing in for differing in one of the ways. One of the ways given below. One of the ways means what are they? Number of arguments, type of arguments, sequence of, but differing in one of these ways is known as, yes, is known as method signature. It is an important interview question. I'll send you notes soon, don't worry. This is an important interview question, I can tell you. That's it. Okay, today we learned these many things. What is constructor overloading? What is a constructor? These are the things we found today. Please go through my notes. How is the class today? Understood? Useful? Yes? Shall I close the session? If you have any doubts, please stay. Otherwise, you can quit. I am taking your attendance as well. Be cool. So slowly study. Slowly try to again and again repeatedly try to listen to my recordings. You can see you can get the recordings very simply. So you try to get those recordings. You study well. You clarify your doubts personally. Also, you can call to me and get your doubts clarified anytime. Welcome. If I am in some other class or something else, I can let you know, and after 1 hour or something like that, again you can get contact of mine and you can get your doubts clarified. Otherwise, if you are having, or otherwise in the session also, you can use my time, right? I'm available all the time, don't worry. Please study the notes properly. This can be your life in the coming days. Okay, only with Java you can get a job. Don't forget that. Only with Java. And if you learn Java well, Python you can learn of your own. That much easy for you in the coming days. Any programming language is easy. Once you learn Java well, you can understand any other programming language. Damn sure, without coaching, without guidance. Please be confident in this language. Thank you. I'm closing the session with this. Thank you. Have a nice day.